Okay, hello. We're going to do a short video on getting VirtualBox installed. I'm on a Mac here, so we'll show it under the Mac. This is part of the Linux system setup in the Linux and CS Systems Bootcamp. Okay, so I'm on a Mac. Virtual machine, it says to go, just the link is up here for VirtualBox. Okay, so if I go there, I'm going to take the OS X download. If you're on Windows, you take the Windows download. I already clicked that and have it downloaded. We're also going to need this extension pack. Okay, so I have both of those files downloaded. I'm going to open the VirtualBox, this link first. And installing it. We'll go ahead and let that finish installing. Okay, so that finished installing. For the next part, let's see, we can go over and open this this program, VirtualBox. The idea here is that we're going to be able to run another operating system inside of this program. I already have one installed. I'm going to just go ahead and delete that and start again. Delete all the files there. Okay, so when you get VirtualBox installed, you'll see something like this, and we're going to add a new virtual machine. Just a second. Right, so I'm going to click New here. So I'm going to make a new virtual machine. I'm going to do Windows 10 because sometimes you have things that need to run under Windows. We can change the amount of memory that we're going to give the virtual machine later. We can leave it as the default, and if there's a problem, give it more or less. I have 16 gigabytes on this computer, so I could theoretically give that amount, but I'll leave it down here where the default value is. You want to give it at least a gigabyte. So at least 1,000 megabytes, 2,000 sounds good as long as you have, say, at least, don't give it more than half of your memory. Leave this as default, and leave this as default, and leave this as default. That's all deciding how the virtual machine is going to get a virtual hard drive. So we're giving it a virtual hard drive that can grow up to, the previous one was, it can grow up to 50 gigabytes in size, and it's going to be dynamic, so it's not actually going to use 50 gigabytes. It's going to use however much it really needs, up to 50 gigabytes. And this is the place where it's going to store it. I could change the size here. I believe I can change that later as well, so we'll just leave defaults. Okay, now I could start this system. If I do, it doesn't have an operating system installed. I called it Windows 10, but it didn't actually install an operating system. It's asking here for an installation CD, and I could give it here. We could also, so here it's going to start and basically say there's no bootable medium found. So you just close it and power off the machine. So it's like there's a physical computer that we're operating here. We'll power it off, and when it's powered off, I can change the settings. So this is where we could go and change the amount of memory that we're giving it. We could change other settings. The main one that we would want to look at is the optical drive. So if we have a Windows install image, we could give that here. If you're an ISU student, you can go to indstate.edu/OIT, click on Get Software. Let's see, let's go to Operating System. ISU has a site license for Windows, so we're allowed to download the Windows 10 is the current one as of this video. And then you type in your login information and you'll get a file that is like, let's see, I'll sort this by size, the files I have, and it'll be something like this. So it'll be .iso if you have your settings set to show the file extension, and there it's 4 gigabytes. Okay, so if I'm over back in VirtualBox, I could specify that that is what I want to be loaded into the CD drive. So in this virtual computer, there's a CD drive, and I have it having that Windows install. Alright, and then if I start it now, it's going to load that installation disk. Okay, let's go ahead and start that in C. So we're starting the virtual machine, and we should see it start to load Windows. I clicked my mouse inside of there, so if I click my mouse inside of there, we may not see it. I don't want to. Alright, sure, we're going to cancel. No. So if you don't see it, then there's a code down here that says the host key. So if my mouse is captured by this program and I can't get it out, then you would press that key to come back out. We're going to pause and fix the display here. Okay, I'm going to close this and power it off, and go back over here in the settings and see if this fixes the issue. They're saying to change this graphics controller to this one, so we'll see whether that works. I had to shut the machine down to change any of these settings. Alright, so we're going to start that again. That did not do what I wanted. Let's try again. Okay, so the thing that ended up working to make the display look better is we leave that the way it was, and then we can change this scale factor. So it's a zoom level, and we can only change some of this stuff when the machine is off. So I turn the machine off, start it again. Now we can see things a bit better. This is talking about that key that we need to press if the mouse is captured and we need to bring it back out. Okay, I have it so that the screen that my virtual machine has is actually bigger than my physical resolution right now, because I have my physical resolution small for this video. So you may need to scroll here. Alright, so now I'm in the virtual machine, and I can just click through to install Windows. So this would be just like if you had a new computer with no operating system installed and you put in the DVD to install Windows. So it's going to ask for to confirm settings and username and stuff like that. And so we'll just leave everything as the default and click through. Let's try shutting this down and opening it again. I'll save the machine state so it remembers where I was. Okay. This is looking fine. So I think either one of these isn't really going to matter. It doesn't like the upgrade because there's no nothing installed, so we'll choose the other one. So that shows the 50 gigabytes that the drive can grow to. So Windows here thinks there is a physical drive that's 50 gigabytes, which is fine. It's going to go through and copy files and such. We can pause for that. I'm going to press my left command button to bring my mouse out. Okay, the Windows was copying files and such to install for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and then it rebooted. And when it rebooted, it showed a little message here that said press any key to boot off the CD. I did not press any key because it still thinks that Windows install disk is there, but we don't need to start the install again, so we just let it keep going. It's going to come up here shortly and ask me for my name and a password and things like that. Okay, we had this finally come up. And we click a button and we wait again. Okay, let's click through like this. All right, so now we'll put in our information. And the mouse is messed up, so when it does that, I'm going to save the machine state and start it again. Okay. So we'll, whatever you want to put for your password here. This should be just about it. It's going to do this for a little while longer, and then when it's done, we'll take a look and see what it looks like. Okay, so here we are. Windows got through all of what it wanted to do, and so now I just see a Windows computer. I need to scroll here. I don't quite see the bottom, so if I change my scaling factor, I'll be able to see that, or if I change my resolution over here, okay, so now I can see everything here. And this screen here is a Windows computer, and then whatever I want to do on Windows I can do here. So if I have something that I need to run inside of, maybe I want to test my web page inside of Microsoft Edge, then I can open up Edge here, or if I have some program that I want to install that only runs on Windows, I can do it in here. This virtual machine is going to be not quite as snappy as the regular machine that I have here because it's simulating Windows. So we'll leave it at that. If you have a reason to use this, there you go. Good luck. Well, so we'll say one other thing. The other reason you might want to do this is if you want to install a Linux virtual machine. So instead of using the Windows, I had this Windows 10 install disk. You could download one that's Ubuntu Windows or Ubuntu Linux or some other Linux system if you wanted to install Linux like this. Okay.